Northlane have a new album out called Obsidian, which is a badass name to start with. I'm really excited to hear it because I've loved a lot of what Northlane have been doing recently. I've actually reacted already to like 3 of their songs that's on this record. So as we go through this album reaction thing, I'm going to slice those videos in. Some of them I'll have different clothes on and different haircuts, and one of them's from like 2021. So it's a little bit strange, but hey, I'll include it here. So I'll do the whole album except for Clockwork, because I've already listened to that song before I even started doing this reaction channel. So I don't have no reaction video available for that one, because I wasn't doing them back then, and I'm not gonna fake some like, oh, first time listening to Clockwork. So that one just won't exist. But know that I liked it. It's a good song. Okay, so Clarity, first song on the album. I've not heard this yet, so that's exciting. It's almost 6 minutes long, and go. Quite soothing synth sounds. It's beautiful. Some swelling, digital orchestral sounds. Digital strings. It's a slightly moody chord in there. Sounds like the Verve. Okay. That went to 100 real quick. It's not quite blast beats, it's sort of almost there from punk rock. Unusual stabbing chords. Oh. This sounds like a Muse guitar riff. Oh, that might be a keyboard. Bunch of energy. Jesus. The drummer's just going ham on it. Jesus. It's a pretty full-on opening track. It's a lot. We're going down in the notes. Nice. It's like propeller heads. Some like 90s digital sound. He's angry. I'm excited. Okay, the beats keep going in. I'm hoping for a big payoff. Okay. Not the beat I was expecting. It's a cool rhythmic element, man. I bet this kicks live. Ooh. I love the tone of that synth sound they've got. The mix is gorgeous. Doing some interesting things with the cymbals. Sometimes on the beat, occasionally on the off, but not when you expect it. Ooh. I thought they were going to go to the fast beat again, but... unexpected offbeats. A bit of cymbal. Splash it with the open hi-hats. Well, that was an onslaught, I'd say. I don't think that's a song that I will regularly have on repeat. It's kind of a lot. There's moments in there that are absolutely beautiful. That kind of synth sound that they've got, sort of, it's almost, at the start of the song is almost something I could imagine in a spa, kind of gentle, kind of, you know, looping melodies on synth, kind of piano stuff, which is nice. That kind of crazy, almost blast beat sort of drums, that I'm not like a wild fan of, because I like more of a groove, but when used sparingly, it can be really effective. And there were moments in there that I think it really worked, but there's maybe a little bit more of that than I was hoping for. But there's kind of a sort of statement piece at the opening of that album, just like, here are some vibes and some thoughts, and we'll take you on a bit of a journey. So I'm excited for the rest of it, because I know, obviously, I've listened to 4 of the songs on this, and they're much more like kind of mainstream, radio-friendly sort of song structure vibe. So... interesting that this song, Clarity, gives it sort of that yin-yang elements. Like, we have this in our back pocket. We've got some other things, you know. Let's see what's next. So the next song is Clockwork, which I heard, again, before I started doing reaction videos. So I don't have a first-time reaction for that. I'm not going to fake one. I just have to, unfortunately, move on. But it was a great song. I liked it. It was kind of a sign of things to come with this album. And it made me really excited. Next up, Echo Chamber, which I have done a reaction video for, and I'm going to slice that in right here. This is like 90s dance music. Entrance? This is very interesting. Okay. Electro pop rock. I like that the snare only just came in there, builds it naturally. Lovely vocal. Very simple drum beat to support this kind of dancey vibe. It's definitely the most mainstream song they've ever come out with, which I don't hate. I like mainstream music. Nice. Lovely scream. Very cool. I feel like this chorus has got a little bit more power to it than the previous one. Maybe they added another layer of guitars. Cool. Beautiful. Yes, please. Lovely, full guitar sound. Meaty. Okay, we're turning it up a bit. Triplet patterns on the drums between the snare and the kicks, but with a different time signature on it. Nice. Catchy. They could have just repeated that thing again, but they went up to the higher note, added a bit of variation. We're slowing down in tempo. Give it to me. Oh. This is an excellent song. Woof. The only thing that matters is what you can create. Cool. And we echo out. Okay. That was nice. So it started out as like a very surprising sort of pop dance track. And as it went on, it got more of the kind of heavier guitar layers and some more scream vocals, and then slow down to a nice slow tempoed heaviness at the end. So halfway through, I nearly said, you could drop this song in like a dance club and no one would bat an eye. People were like, cool, this is great. Towards the end of the song, they might have noticed. I really enjoyed that. That was interesting. I thought, yeah, at the start they were gonna go in a very strong mainstream direction. Like, we're gonna do some dance rock from now on. So come along for the ride or don't. We don't mind. This is what we're doing. But actually, it sort of went in a journey back towards the sound they had in the previous album, which was kind of simple, slow, but heavy, but pop, sort of a rock overall sound. And then by the end, they were in their more olden days of like proggy, heavy, devastating vocals and shit. So it kind of had a bit of everything that Northlane can produce in that one song, and a kind of journey through it, which I very much enjoyed. Great vocal performance from the vocalist. I don't know his name. I don't know any of their names, actually. Sorry about that. But he's great. Yeah, good singer there. I've seen them live before, many, many years ago. They're very good live as well, which is nice. That helps me enjoy their music on record a bit more, because I know it's not super overproduced. This is something they can produce live as well, which is cool. That was great. I very much enjoyed that. Cool. And props to the drummer as well for when they were doing the kind of more pop rock intro-y bits. Keeping it simple, supporting that kind of style, kind of keeping you in the hook. But then as it transitioned into other heavier rock elements, much busier on the fills. Yeah, it was cool. Well done. I've also already done a reaction for Carbonized that was really recent, and that will be playing right now. All digital vibes. Smoke heated with a fresh coat. Yeah, this is filthy. Smoke heated with a fresh coat. I'm so excited. Mirrors and smoke heated with a fresh coat. If the ship floats running through the main line. New metal is back. Sugar sweet with a bitter mix with the pain. You're just brain, your brain remains no blind. Conspire to keep it quiet. You run for cover, but you he's rapping. Now your terror's headed in, disappear into the wind, never to be seen again. Dope. Wearing idle lies, pretending we're outside. It's not a reflection of what you glorify. Very simple notes on the guitars. We have a beautiful chorus. Beautiful. Yeah! It's funky! That slight bend on the notes is delicious. I love the choice to change vocals into screams. Take me with you! Leading into it. Not the chorus. There it is. It's like an extended pre-chorus. Bit of a hook to that melody. Low in the mix, different production on the drums. Gives it that atmospheric feel.
I've got no heroes anymore.
The funk. They could have gone for full power mode in this, but it's actually fairly sedate. Lovely drum fill with the toms in there. That was cool. That was really cool. Amazing. Pause. Okay, before I get to my final thoughts, while I have you here, if you're enjoying this, feel free to join the party for future videos. But now, Northlane. I'm loving what these guys are doing. They've gone from like kind of very complex prog rock in the past to much more simplified, catchy songs that are kind of structured, just hit you and then leave you. There's a great balance here of genuine instrument playing, the guitars and drums and the rest, but also there's a lot of digital production elements. And I think actually the way they're doing these two things together really works nicely. The distortion pedals they've got on their guitars got that grinding, filthy, gurgling sound, which is deep and powerful. I love it. But also there's a cool vibe to all of that. It wasn't full force. There wasn't like a huge breakdown moment. It sort of linked into this rhythm with the guitars and the digital layers, and it was really cool. It was amazing. I was not expecting that, because they could just crank it up to 11 if they wanted to, but there was a vibe to this, and there was some rapping. Actual rapping going on, but also in some of the vocal spoken word kind of delivery, he would kind of bend it into his screen vocals, which added a bit more color to it. Nice little hook to the melody when he's singing that, carbonized lyric part. Yeah, that's great. That was a really enjoyable song. Big fan. Thank you, Northlane, for the new music. That was delicious. And now another song I've not heard yet from the new album. It's called Abomination. Without further ado, and go. Getting Prodigy vibes.
Re-emerging as a monster, an imposter out of lifeline, running a dead mind. Abomination!
Interesting.
I'm a slave to blame.
There's a nice deep bass rumble. Quite a bit of distortion on it. It's cool. Assuming that's bass, could be a low tune guitar. The drums have a nice kind of acoustic but also digital quality on the hats. Back at the placement of that snare. Kind of earlier than you expect.
Re-emerging as a monster, an imposter out of lifeline, landing a dead mind.
There's a lot more of that sort of digital synth element to this album than I was expecting even.
Lifeless, I'm a barren desert, void of self-belief, tired desires, I'm dying in the heat.
So many synthetic layers.
I'm a slave to blame,
Lovely note that.
trying to hide my shame.
Slight distortion on his high vocal on that top note. Cool.
Now I'm growing numb
Gonna do it again.
in the burning
No.
abomination.
Voice. Funky beat.
Re-emerging as a monster.
So really played around with the vocal and the mix production. Okay, we're like a German nightclub now.
I'm an imposter out of lifeline, landing a dead mind. Abomination.
Yes. That hi-hat, it sounds like an acoustic hi-hat, actual cymbals, but the way they've produced it, it gives it this cutting exactness, like it's a digital layer. Nicely done. Bit of the vocal low in the mix here.
I'm a slave to blame,
Cool, man.
trying to hide my shame.
That warbling bass sound, really nice.
In the burning sun, abomination.
Ending on an on beat or off? Okay. Well, again, very, very different from what I was kind of expecting based on the other songs I'd heard previously. That was sort of in between like what Clarity was doing and the single releases, I think. It was kind of very sort of techno dance like old school, the Prodigy sort of vibe in there. Not as strongly dynamic in like the heavy rock music that they used to do. It all sort of paces up and down in a sort of natural kind of swelling and swelling down kind of motion, which is nice. Some funky drum beats in there. It's very cool. That kind of deep, distorted bass distortion sound, the kind of warbled low there. I really, really like that. And the vocal performance stuff was really cool in that as well. Some really clean, in terms of production deliveries, but also some moments where it's like low in the mix, but the distortion, he's got a bit of scream edge here and there, but a nice variety of sounds in that. Abomination was cool. It had a vibe. Liked it. All right, next up was Plenty, and I have already done a reaction for Plenty, so I'm going to cut that in here now. Nice start. Quiet vocals in the background. I don't know if that's the bass or that's the guitar part. It's so low, but that's amazing. That low crash cymbal. Vocals really low in the mix. But it works. That guitar line just rolls. That's absolutely delicious. Lovely scream vocal. Yes. Alright. Interesting rhythmic hits here. Kind of staccatoing the flow. Beautiful dance music styles. The drum beat's kind of jarring in places, but the guitar line smooths it out. Lovely note. Oh, fuck. Lovely straight beat. This is ferocious. That's a banger. That's an immediate banger. That's awesome. That's so good. It's a quick song, you know. They are kind of, well, they have been in the past quite prog metal, right? But they've gone into more of a sort of dancey bangerville recently. And that's a 3-minute, 40-second song, which is not what you normally do in kind of prog rock when you really explore ideas and things. But they sort of tighten things up, and I love it. Yeah, whatever that rolling guitar line was, I don't know. It could be like really low, you know, distortion stuff on the guitar, or it could be bass that's up high. Don't know. There's so much going on in the layers there. I couldn't quite pick that up. Maybe in future I'll get into that. I was also picking up on, you know, what the drums were doing rhythmically, which is kind of actually sort of jarring, hitting the kick drum in places you wouldn't necessarily expect to keep a groove going. But the guitar rhythm over the top of it sort of kept everything flowing nicely. So you didn't notice how jarring the drums were actually being. So that was really nice. I enjoyed that. Singer did an excellent job. What I really like about that vocalist is that vocal was quite low in the mix, actually, compared to what you find in a lot of bands these days, when the vocal's like, this is the star of the show. It sort of adds, this is another musical layer that I'm doing, either sometimes in singing or sometimes in screaming. But actually when there's a scream vocal that's low in the mix, it actually adds a bit more intensity to it. It's like someone's yelling at you from afar, which adds to this sort of epic sense during the song, which I very much enjoyed. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying their kind of dance music layers that they're adding to this. And that drum beat at the end, that like 4/4 straight beat, just unexpected and locks you into like, just there's something that happens in my bones when something goes into that sort of Rammstein tempo of beat. It's just delicious. Love that. Northlane, keep doing what you're doing. Very much enjoyed that. Tell me what you think in the comments. Did that make sense? Did that resonate with you the same way it did with me? Am I just clouded by how much I've enjoyed their recent stuff, so I'm like straight into this immediately? I don't think so. I think it'd be really hard not to just call that a banger straight out of the gate. These guys are good. I like it. Okay, 7 songs to go on the album, and I haven't heard any of them before, so that is very exciting. This next one is called Is This a Test? And it goes like this. And go! Just a hi-hats and bass. Almost a disco beat in the hi-hat there. I'm excited. I have a good feeling about this. Yeah. Locking in on that straight 4/4 beat. Little offbeat in the hi-hat really makes it work. Loving the sonic landscape they're building in this. Feels like they've written a lot of these songs late night, like a 2 a.m. jam fest, just to see how it builds. That sort of off rhythm, like a bossa nova rhythmic pattern. Nice bit of delay on the vocal. It sounds like it's massive. And then, oh, the rhythm of that slightly off, but sinks in with the patterns of the drums. It gives it such an easy groove. So satisfying. This is fucking great. I'm telling you, but it's the open hi-hat and the offbeat that makes it so good. Guitar sound in there. Yeah. Just rolls over and over. Woo! Another lovely tune. Other songs I haven't heard yet. That was that's my favorite. That was great. Had a fucking funky beat and sonically. Just a great kind of tone to it. Vocal delivery was really nice. It was nice, kind of sat in the mix, kind of not super loud and present. It was sort of added as a layer. So created this overall like soundscape thing, which is really cool. Funky, liked it a whole bunch. Next, this song is called Zen. It's a lot longer than that one. That was 3.5 minutes. This one is almost 6. So I'm ready to strap in. And go. Bit more angst in this. Ooh, yeah, there's a slight bend to the notes. You got those harmonics on the lead guitar. Ooh. That's a nice hook. Ooh. That's beautiful. Okay. New favorite song on the album? Love a bit of scream. Woo! Tom-toms. They love that rhythmic counter rhythm to the straight drum beat. They've used that a few times in this record. Reminds me a bit of a chorus that Feeder might have. Very, very satisfying melodies. Okay, it's like a continued chorus musical vibe, but without the vocals. Where is it leading to? Woo! Gorgeous. Delay for days. Been used on the guitars. So gorgeous. Incubus would have been proud of that. We got a shredding guitar solo. Bit of finger tapping? Maybe? Yeah. Oh. So uplifting overall. Loving the delicate vocal delivery on that bit. Ooh. Bit of a digital snare sound. It's like a clap. It's a great balance of acoustic and digital here. They're really playing around on this record. It's cool. Intriguing. Sort of meditative sounds. I guess the song is called Zen, with an X. Just drinking it in. Well, all right. Okay, well, that was a beautiful song from start to finish. As beautiful and great and enjoyable as that last section was, with the kind of, you know, meditative, lingering long, kind of solid but also sometimes wavering sonic landscapey sounds, was, I loved the actual, you know, more traditional song part of that song so much. I would have normally maybe wanted to have that on a loop, but if I loop that track, I'm always going to have that sort of slow meditative thing at the end, which would be a shame. It would be nice in my own personal preferences if that part was its own like interlude song, so you could still just repeat that first part, which was a fucking great song in itself. Like my favorite, I think, so far on the album. I know I've said that a couple times now. This feels like it's getting better as it goes. Although that's not counting the singles that I already reacted to before. I'm kind of like not really thinking about them because I've forgotten what they're like, but they were amazing. Zen was great. That had a great, more rocky, rounded vibe to it than some of the other ones. Like this Attest had a bit more of their dynamic range in there, but beautiful overall. It seems to me like they've got a studio full of great acoustic instruments, but also just like walls of unusual digital wires and things they're plugging in and out and trying different distortion pedals and things and just adding all kinds of incredible layers. They really are just playing with as many toys as they have, and it's making for some really impressive soundscapes. I like that a lot. Next song is called Cypher, and my brother said this is like possibly his favorite. I think he says he can't stop playing this song on repeat. So you have my attention. Unfortunately now I got a high expectation for the song being good, but we'll see. Who knows? I don't know whether that means it's gonna be really, really heavy, or just a great song overall, or a total banger. I'm about to find out. And go. Sounds like we're in a club. Like 4 in the morning. Cool rhythmic element there. Their choice of offbeats and onbeats on the musical element versus the drums makes for a really cool pattern. We have a snare drum. That guitar bit. Don't know if that's. Funky groove to it. Love the vocals. Oh, love the gap in the guitar parts. Ooh, little flick of the lead part. Kick pedal placement really helps it to roll. Oh. Rhythm of those musical elements. So vibing. God. All about the gaps. Interlude bit. And we're back. Staccato-y offbeat jabs, but the crash cymbals keeping you going. We're going up in the notes. Yeah, twisting it up still. And again? No. Cool. Back down again. Goes up again. Beautiful. Oh. What a combination of elements they've got here. And now another moment of zen. Man, they're really creating some beautiful sounds in this record. Wow, I mean, they're really, you know, it does sound like they've played with every possible conceivable sound available to them to find something. Just the whole thing is a vibe. I don't even know how to kind of get into that one. It had some very satisfying low, grumbly, like, but rhythmically with the gaps kind of guitar riffs in there. They were sort of counter rhythmic to the straight 4/4 beats, which they've done a few times in this record. They love it. It's almost like what you'd expect from a bossa nova sort of rhythm, but using like heavy sort of guitar stabs or like synthy bits and pieces. And it means that those kind of patterns, which are different, but they sync up at satisfying moments throughout the song, or the various bars and things, that it kind of, it locks you in. It's got some variety to it, but it still doesn't disturb from the main beat thread that goes through. So the whole thing is fucking really satisfying. Vocal delivery is really cool. I'm loving moments when they kind of, they'll pause some of the instruments and just go like drums and hi-hats. A bit of soundscapes, things come in and out, and it sort of builds back up again. This would be great at like a festival that maybe, you know, like a dance festival, but you could have that kind of rock scream element to it. It sort of bridges the gap between sort of more traditional kind of rock sounds and sort of dancey music sounds and makes it in this one big flourishing ball of fuck yeah. That's how I'll describe that. Okay, cool, awesome. Next song, Nova. And go. This reminds me of like a Fatboy Slim sort of vibe. Massive Attack. Yeah, Massive Attack. Bit of an old school kind of Britpop vibe. In the vocal style. The drums sound digitally created. A lot of the music as well sounds not the original acoustic instrument, but there's a lot of production elements on it. Very cool, atmospheric. That's so different from what they were making like 3 albums ago, you know? 2 albums ago. I like it a lot. There are some guitar elements, but it's mostly kind of keyboard work, that's what I can tell. It's kind of synthesized strings. So chill. Really beautiful. It sounds like a simple song, but it would take them so long to hone those sounds into what they wanted them to be. That was a delightful bit of chill. It's nice. A palate cleanser, even. It's nice. I feel really, really chilled out. What am I doing again? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Northlane. Ah! Good shit. A simple, largely kind of synthetic, digitally produced song there. Less of the kind of fat acoustic drums. And I don't think I heard any screams in there. It's kind of very subdued, sort of calm, thoughtful vocal deliveries. Calming, beautiful bit of music there. I liked it. It's quite a vibe. I've definitely overused the word vibe in this kind of reaction review thing, but that's the best way to describe this. There is a thread of consistent sound that's kind of going through this whole thing. That sort of digital soundscape that they're making, and then through different songs, either having like aggressive screaming drums or more subdued bits like that. It all matches around the same sort of sonic tone. Which is really satisfying, and it helps to unify all these tracks so far into this. Makes sense as an album, you know, rather than kind of random singles and things. So that's cool. We got 3 more songs to go. This one's called Inamorata, and it goes like this. And go.
You drained my lungs of water so I could breathe.
Okay.
My ankles locked in concrete. You broke me free. Repaired my twisted vision and calmed the tide.
The guitars are doing filthy things. They're low in the mix, so it's not overwhelming. If it was louder, it'd be like, oh.
My love, Inamorata, I'm whole again. Your light,
Pretty chill.
it's shining through me. My flame ascends, now it's my turn to burn for you.
A few choices of notes they have vocally that are just perfect. Yes. Bit of scream.
I know it's not big.
I Again with those kind of jaunty, offbeat, rhythmic stabs of the instruments. Crazy. Tom working the drums. The rhythm of those guitar punches are going to take a bit of getting used to. At first listen, it's not the most predictable pattern. It's cool though. And as with the other songs of this record, there is a synthy layer throughout this to give it more fullness. Swelling up. Ooh, the drums. Once again, overused in my reaction to this album, but it's a vibe. That note, awesome. Very few snare hits in this bit. Ooh. Ooh. Twisting up in the notes. Ooh. Cool. Another great sonic masterpiece. Wow. I don't know whether it's because when listening to the singles that came out before the record, they were spaced out, so you had more time to just focus on that one song. But I noticed they were, to me, those singles were more different from each other than some of the rest of the songs on this album, to a degree. But then like Nova was very chill, and like Zen was, I mean, they're all quite different. But again, there's that similar soundscape that they're playing with in each song, a slightly different element to it, different vibe as it goes along. And that song to me sort of united all of it. It had a bit more of the rock, it had some scream bits, had some nice vocal deliveries and note choices, it had some rumbling low bass and guitar, but quite low in the mix, so it didn't overpower the rest of it, so it kind of had a bit of a chill vibe as well. That sort of represents the sound of the album for me thus far. All right, 2 more songs to go. Second last one, it's called Obsidian. So this is the title track of the album. Let's see if I can figure out why they've chosen that as the title track. Maybe just because Obsidian is a fucking cool name. And go! Very dancey vibe so far. It's hinting at it. That's exciting. Hinting at almost like drum and bass. He's very sparing with his use of tom-toms. They really cut through when he hits them. The volume of that swells up and then oh yes, that's a fucking cool guitar sound. Give it to me. Yeah. Smacking the hell out of that snare. Wow. Beautiful. Loving this. Splashy rhythms on the open hi-hats there. That guitar sound. Woo! Such a slow pace shift. Nice. Woo! I'm getting chills. That's epic. Come on. Oh. Filth. Oh. Groovy. Oh. This is my kind of disco. Whoa. Yeah. The cymbals tell you where you are. Everything else is kind of... Oh my God. I need a moment. That was gorgeous in its devastating heaviness, but it also still had that consistent kind of a bit of a cool atmospheric vibe to it, but just fucking the low screams, the growls, things he was doing there. When that build up, you could just feel this is, I really hope this pays off, this is going somewhere, and then it did not disappoint. It kind of delivered heaviness. And it's with a lot of the rest of this record as well, like you've got that kind of sort of straight drum beat to it, but the rhythmic patterns of the guitar, bass, and sometimes the kick drum stabs as well, can be really kind of unusual and off-putting when you haven't heard it yet, but the cymbals give you where the consistent beat is, so that was that helps you kind of lock in for where you're at. That was awesome. That's clearly the heaviest song on the album as far as I can recall, and loved it, because they have that in their pocket, and I love when they use it. That was fucking gorgeous. Absolutely loved that. And I got chills with it. There was that moment where it slowed down and there was that epic sort of intensity to it with those vocals coming in. That was a tune. And there's one more left. Dark Solitaire. 5 more minutes of the new Northlane record. Here we go. And go. Synthy, synthy.
I'm falling into my head.
Wasn't expecting a beat to kick in like that. It's not a straight hi-hat pattern, it's jaunty. The snare hits are consistent. That lead guitar part reminds me of Thrice. Yeah, those notes sound like a Thrice song. That bass. I love the vocal character he's got in this bit. It's quite present. Beautiful. Yeah, that high lead part is so pretty. Dude can sing. Really well mixed record, this. Making good use of panning some sounds as well for separation. What are we building to? Whispering. Woo. Oh man. Sort of counter rhythm. Drums do a whole different vibe. But together they come in as one. Oh man. Woo. There's a minute and change to go. Really like meditative soundscape to finish. Ooh. It's like digital raindrops made of music. It's kind of soothing. It's taking a turn. Slightly more menacing. Well, oh, a couple seconds. Well, that was quite a record. That was some force of nature they put together for that album, Obsidian. I guess to try and summarize it, it had a really nice balance of, there was a consistent atmospheric theme that they created with the kind of sonic choices they're making with all their synthy digital layers and stuff, and also drum sounds and vocal deliveries. But each song was different enough. Like each song had its place, which is hard to do. You know, at the end of like a 13-song album, you know, if you're listening to one go, you can be like, okay, another song, all right, another song. But there was enough in each one to kind of sink my teeth into. And that Dark Solitaire was great. It had also the kind of two sides of this album that I loved, which is the beautiful sonic kind of atmospheric landscape of bits and pieces, but also some funky drums and some heaviness and some screaming. Like it was a full dynamic range within that one song. And in the end there, they had that sort of meditative sound choices as well, which is pretty cool. That was a beautiful piece of art, I'd say, from start to finish. Really satisfying, some catchy choruses in there. Just gorgeousness in terms of sounds. It was captivating. I could happily put that thing on a loop, both to actively listen to and also to have in the background. It's got a great kind of vibe to it. I love that a lot. Amazing. Well, looking forward to just whipping that on a loop for the next few days, because that was great. props to Northlane. I mean, they did some amazing stuff in the past with their heavy kind of progressive metal bits and pieces, and there was a lot in there that I did love. But I am really enjoying the kind of bridge that they've got now in the future and the current world, where they've got the heaviness, but they've also got this sort of digital dance vibe as well. For me, it really works. I thought that was a gorgeous record. So well done, thank you to Northlane for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you want to see more videos from me in future, feel free. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll see you in another video.